Hello, and welcome back to another coaster review. This time, we are looking at one of the best wooden coasters I have ever ridden, and that is the famous Ravine Flyer 2. Located at Waldameer, this ride is a tribute to the original Ravine Flyer that got torn down over 80 years ago. It goes outside of the park, which isn't the most common thing in the world. The only other ride that I remember that does that is Judge Roy Scream at Six Flags Over Texas. Anyway, let's dive into this review. Alright, let's talk about the ride experience. This ride makes heavy use of the terrain and flies into ravines multiple times, which is kind of where the name gets its name, or at least the original one. I love terrain coasters, so this ride gets a huge boost from that alone. But before I talk about the experience and layout, we need to talk about the stats, even though they don't really matter at the end. This ride is 80 feet tall, but plunges down a hill in a 118-foot drop at a 60-degree angle. This ride is 57 miles an hour and is just shy of 3,000 feet long. Now that we got the stats out of the way, let's talk about the ride layout and experience. After an 80-foot climb, you dive into an amazing airtime-filled 118-foot drop into a tunnel, then over a bridge/airtime hill over Peninsula Drive. You then go over a small twisted hill and then into a big swooping turnaround. It doesn't go too fast over that turnaround, but in the back you'll get some good airtime off that drop. After that pretty big drop after that turnaround, you go back over the bridge with a speed hill. Then it goes into a double up covered by a tunnel, which leads into, you guessed it, another tunnel with a turn, and then a few slower bunny hills. The ride may seem over, as it's going slower now, but it has one last trick up its sleeve as you dive down into the ravine again at a heavily banked angle, then go up a swooping turn back up the hill. The ride finishes off with a few small bunny hills that provide decent pops of airtime, and then the brakes. This layout is incredible, but a bit short. Can't blame the park, though, as Waldameer is pretty small. I do have a few gripes with this ride, though. So, you will notice that it is kind of a rough ride. I am pretty young, so it doesn't really affect me too much. But if you are an enthusiast over 30, you might need your older friend Advil to help you with that headache you might get. My other complaint is that the trains aren't the best, but that isn't Gravity Group or Waldameer's fault, as I don't think Timberliners existed yet, and I don't know how well Millennium Flyers would work on it. Probably well, but I don't know. I don't mind PTC trains that much, but others do. But it is easy to get your legs crushed by that bar, which can be a bit painful. The ride is still super fun, though, and that's all I care about. So for this ride's score, I'm going to give it an 8.5. Only reason it isn't a 9 is because it is pretty rough in areas. But I don't care, because this ride is fun. This is the best ride in the park, and I hope it stays for a while. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video I publish. Bye.